So look, this is what we've been talking about on ETH. Let's do, so I want to be able to show everything. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So ETH, we've been talking about this. Last 2 years, we've been in this large range from $4,100 all the way down to about $2,000 ETH. Okay. Finally, it looks like we're getting the last capitulation that we've been looking for down to 1750, which is this bear market demand range, demand zone. Okay. In here. Right. So we're finally getting this last move down on ETH, which is good. We want that final flush. Does it look good on the portfolio? No. But what does that mean? Generational entries. That means we get this pop back down to 1750, reaccumulate probably for a week or two, couple weeks, and then we start pumping back up hard. So you see us starting to finally lose this level right here, right? This is this wick down right here. So that low, yep, took it. We had that low, took it. So you see we're finally breaking down from this little demand region right here. We're losing the range. What's going to happen on a lower time frame? Yeah, so we closed the daily outside of the range. This is the first time yesterday where we actually had a daily candle close outside of this range that we had for the last couple years. Okay, that's a big deal because that was the lowest daily candle close we've had on ETH since back in 2023. Yeah, since back in 2023, right? Yeah. So for years now, that's the lowest it's ever closed. So because it closed outside of the range, that's a bearish confirmation. Okay, so we closed outside of the range. We're probably going to reject right here and then finally puke back down. Good. We want that. Okay, we've been saying that that's probably going to happen. Okay, so the timing of it makes sense as well, because the timing is what's the most important to me. Is when are we buying, when are we selling, right? Price will go up, price will go down. It's inevitable. There's nothing you can do to stop that. There's nothing you can do to change that. It's going to happen. The question is the timing, and are we timing our buys correctly to maximize our profits? So I had shown you guys a timeline that I was looking at. To show when this would happen. And it's lining up beautifully. So let's put on the RSI. Okay. Let's take a look at ETH on the daily. Okay. So when can we expect a low to get put in? So we still see another move down on equities, which would make sense with one more move down on ETH and Bitcoin. So it all is lining up. It all is making sense. When you look at the RSI, which is an oversold and overbought indicator, this is when we had our last capitulation on Ethereum, right? So this clear overselling of ETH. That was the capitulation. We come back up and then we make the next move higher. This was the first move down into oversold territory, which was that. So the reason that we've been expecting more downside on ETH if we didn't have a quick V recovery is because similar to this liquidation event on February 2nd, February 3rd, this move only brought us back down into here. Okay? Similar to this move right here. So people were thinking that, well, we could V recover and start pumping back up again, which would have been nice. We were watching for it. We're going to see if it was a quick reversal. But it didn't make sense because we never actually capitulated. When you get this deep red in the oversold, that's a sign of capitulation. That's a sign of people who are just like, fuck it. I'm selling. It's oversold. I'm still selling. It's clearly a bad time to sell. It's clearly oversold. I'm still selling. Capitulation, right? People gave up. We still haven't had that last capitulation on Ethereum this time on the RSI, right? So when we do inevitably come back down to 1750, right, and we see that one last puke down, confluent with equities, confluent with Bitcoin, we're going to get a move like this before we start to rally, and that's going to do what here? It's going to bring us into here and build this like oversold move, which will be this one right here. That's true capitulation. So again, we want capitulation. Why? Because yeah, in the moment, the price sucks. It hurts. Your bags are down. But the only way for you to get a pop back up to the upside as Isaac Newton would say, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For you to become very oversold, well, the opposite would be overbought, and you get this pump back up to the upside, right? You get the reversal. So this one was the lower, then oversold. This one was the overbought, and then the lower right here, right? Same thing. So we want this oversold. We accumulate, we load up on our shit right here, and then we're selling up in, I won't give you guys exact targets on YouTube. Obviously, that's why you got to be inside the Taylor's code for that shit. But, you're selling up there once RSI gets like this, something like that, or something like this again, right? So up in here. So it's all making sense. We like it. Timing aspect. Okay, so we've been saying how the GLI is 2 years. I'm giving you guys fucking juice. Who does this? Who does shit like this? Okay. By the way, gentlemen, I'm going to do I'll give it a couple more minutes. We'll wait till we get a little bit more viewers before we do the TC. I'll show you guys the Taylor's code. So, timing perspective on this. So what was the time frame that took us to actually have a reversal? So we had the capitulation here. Here was the high. Capitulation here, or here's the high, sorry, and we come back down, fill the wick. Okay, it took us 19 days and then 13 days. So what are we doing over here? Low, high, 20 days, makes sense. Let's see where we're at here. 13, 14 days. So very similar, right? Timing wise as well. So what I'm expecting on ETH, because this took a little bit longer, but it was about the same as this to set the low and then that local high before inevitably coming back down and setting the second low. What I'm assuming is going to happen here is within the next couple of days, right? Whether it may already have happened, it's possible if we don't get the 1750, but I still think we do. But at least within the next couple of days, this low on 1750 should get set. That's what I'm expecting, okay? So I'm looking for that last flush down within the next week or two because the timing makes sense. The timing also makes sense with the GLI, which is about 2 months leading the market. So Bitcoin's about 2 months lagging GLI. Well, 20 days plus another couple of weeks would be about what? Month and a half would make sense for that to be the low, and then you start to get the reversal, right? So bottom's close, gentlemen. Bottom is very, very, very close.